Now with Origin and the first set of major and minor bye rounds in the bag, teams return back to full strength here in round 15. And before we take a look at the matches ahead, first of all, the top 8 heading into round 15, we have the Storm, Cronulla, both on 22 points. The Panthers on 20, the Finns on 18. They are your top 4, also on 18 points, Canberra Raiders. And sitting at 6, 7, 8 on 16 points, we have the Sydney Roosters, the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs, and the Brisbane Broncos. And before we dive into the matches, looking at the results of last week, we finally bounced back after back-to-back terrible weeks. Now margins we struggled with, but our overall picks, we nailed 5 from 7 and 5 from 7 try scorers, which you love to see. Oddski's Bakery back in business. One of the matches we went perfect with the Panthers scoring 1-12 and Brian To'o to score. I did have the wrong graphic up for the Panthers last week, but we did talk about a close game. And the coin toss of the round, the Bulldogs and the Parramatta Eels. The Bulldogs clutching up yet again with a close win. I thought ultimately Mitchell Moses would be the difference between the two sides and couldn't really put a stamp on the match, and in the dying moments it was odd to see him jump in at hooker when there was only one player left. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he gets that Blues gig after a bit of a dicey round 14. That's now 0 from 3 picks with the Bulldogs. They get the bye this week. We may very well jump on that bandwagon once they return. And yeah, we forgot to address the red carpet, the sole red carpet. My Brisbane Broncos getting overpowered at home with a full strength forward pack. That was a rough watch. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the matches ahead for round 15. And to kick off the weekend of footy, we have the Sharks hosting the Dolphins. A little top 4 clash, number 2 playing number 4 at PointsBet Stadium. Looking at the ins and outs, the Sharks welcome back a well-rested Nicho Hynes as well as Braden Hamlin-Welle. So Hynes jumps back into his 7th position, pushing Trindle to the 6th, Atkinson to 18th man, and for Hamlin, he joins the bench in place of Tapuha, who drops out of the side altogether. For the Finns, they welcome back the Hammer, Cody Nikodima for Anthony Milford, as well as Felice Kaufusi, who will be playing back in the front row along with Kenny Bromwich. As for my pick in this game, not much to go off historically. They've only played once, and the Finns did get the upper hand back at Suncorp Stadium. The Sharks coming off an impressive win against the Broncos without Nicho Hynes. And as for the Finns, fresh off a bye, but prior to that, coming off back-to-back losses, some close losses to both the Raiders by 1 point and the Wars by 4. So, looking at how their stats lined up, it's actually pretty close. I am leaning towards the Sharkies though. I thought they looked solid last week, and where I give them the upper hand against the Finns is that forward pack. With Nicho back, I do think they can squeeze out a win here at home against the Finns, so we're going to take them 1 to 12 points. As for try scorers, I'm looking at Brighton Nikora, who has had a bit of a quiet season try scoring wise, but coming up against someone like Cody Nikodima, I do like his chances. In the second game of the round, the Canberra Raiders host the North Queensland Cowboys in the capital. Looking at ins and outs, starting with the home side here, they have one return, Hudson Young, so he jumps back into the back row. Mariota moves to the bench, pushing Simi Sasangi out of the 17. For North Queensland, they welcome back Marita Ulangi, Reece Robson, McLean into the front row, Damololo moves to lock, and the 9 will start with Finufiuaki moving to the bench. As for my pick, it's such a tough game to read. I will go through their stats historically though. The head-to-head at least, of 44 games played, the Cowboys do have the slight upper hand with 23 wins. And more recently, the Raiders haven't beat the Cowboys in going on 4 years now, since 2020. Why it's a tough read for me, it's because you never know what you're going to get with these damn Cowboys, who despite having a rich presence in the State of Origin Queensland side, at club level, they've actually looked pretty average as a unit. So who do I pick? I will be leaning on the side of the visitors here. Not that confident on the pick, given we don't know what the bloody Cowboys will give us. But coming off a hiding at home, we're looking for a response out of them and their Origin players to be at the forefront. So yeah, give me the Cowboys. We'll go 1 to 12 points. And to score a try, we're going to go with Tommy Dearden. And to close out the Friday night action, we have the South Sydney Rabbitohs hosting the Brisbane Broncos. It'll be the first time back at a core stadium for the Broncos since losing last year's grand final. Looking at the team sheet, there's not much happening. Starting with the Rabbitohs, they actually get a big boost in Cam Murray, their skipper, back on deck. They do have him coming off the pine. That could potentially change. I suspect them starting him in place of Kolomatangi. Maybe Kolomatangi goes on to play in the front row, or maybe his preferred back row. Other than that, everything else looks the same. Havili, the 1-2 drop out of the squad. And for the Broncos, they've made one change with Xavier Willison coming on to the bench for Fletcher Baker. As for my pick, it's a super dangerous game for the Broncos, who are staring down the barrel of a 3-game losing streak. They're currently sitting in 8th position as well, with teams like the Dragons and the Warriors breathing down their necks in terms of points. I will be backing my Broncos, desperate for a win on the road. Although losing last week, I thought their defense for the most part was pretty good. And yeah, I'm backing them to grind out a win against the Bunnies, who I've been high on for the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about the quality of players in their spine, and they've gone huge for them these last couple of wins. That's pretty much the Broncos' biggest worry, but like I said, we'll be backing their defense to get us over the line. So we'll be running the same picks. Give me the Broncos 1 to 12 points, and Godoni Stags to bag us some meat pie. Moving on to Super Saturday, that kicks off at 3 PM. The first match of the day, we got the Tigers hosting the Titans. Looking at the outs list, we see Sullivan, Galvin and Alaimalo dropping out of the side. They have a new halves pairing of Aiden Caesar and Api Koroisau. Brent Naden moves into centre, Charlie Staines on the wing for Alaimalo. They also have Talon De Silva, who'll be starting at hooker. And Solomon Fa'ata a pair on the bench for Brenton Naden. So a lot happening there for the Tigers. For the Titans, no more back rowers in the back five. They've got Philip Sami at centre, both from all back into the back row. And Palacia goes on to the interchange with Jacob Barlick falling out of the 17. As for my pick in this battle of the bottom of the ladder, I won't be touching the Tigers anytime soon. They are staring down the barrel of a 10-game losing streak if they lose to the Titans. I think they do. Trying to keep it short and sweet, we're going to take the Titans on the road. The Tigers are a favourable match for them, winning 17 from 26 played. And I just think the Titans have a lot of points in them, so we're going to take them 13 plus. And to bag us some meat pie, we're going to jump on Bo for more. In the second game for Super Saturday, the Warriors host the Storm at Go Media Stadium. Looking at changes, they get some big ins to the home side with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Actually, he's on the ins list, but he is named in reserves. Sean Johnson, though, he is back in the 7. For the visitors, they will be without Remus Smith. So taking a spot at centre will be Dean Edomir. As for my pick in this game, the Warriors, we'll be backing them even though they haven't beat Melbourne in ages. The Storm are on a 15-game win streak that goes back to 2015. That's the last time the Warriors beat the Storm. A bit of a bogey team. I like their chances though. Moving Jackson forward to the middle and Barnett out to shore up the edges. They're pretty much at full strength if RTS does end up playing. I'd say it's a game they've had circled since going down in devastating fashion in round 2 at the death. Give me the Waz, give me 1 to 12 points. And Dylan Watene-Zelezniak to cross the white line. And to close out Super Saturday, we have an absolute banger between the Eels and the Roosters at CommBank Stadium. Looking at changes to both sides, starting with the home side, Micah Seabour is back on deck. They're sticking with Sean Russell and Blaze Talangi on the wing. So Deja Nasi drops to number 14 for the Chooks. They get all their rep players back, Angus Crichton, James Tedesco, Lindsay Collins, Spencer Lemieux, as well as Connor Watson, who will start at hooker. No Brandon Smith. As for my pick in this heater of a match, I will be on board with the visitors. I just think that Roosters pack is too strong. Fresh off the bye as well, Connor Watson at hooker. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this matchup, although I will be keeping my eye on Mitchell Moses, who, like we said earlier, everyone is calling for him to be in the Blues, so it'll be interesting to see if he can get a grip on this game. But yeah, I ultimately have the Roosters coming out on top, and to score a meat pie, we're looking at Joey Manu. So Manly host the first match of the Sunday session as they take on the Dragons at 4 Pines Park. Not much happening in terms of the team sheet. Haumole did go down last week, but he is expected to play. They'll be without Josh Aloiai, who has been suspended, so Nathan Brown, their impact off the bench, will be starting, and Bullimore will be the new face on the bench, as it says here. For the Dragons, no changes to the side that dismantled the Tigers. Looking at the head-to-head, it's actually a favourable matchup to the away side. The Dragons beating the Sea Eagles 23 times out of 35, although their wins in Brookvale have been scarce, winning 6 out of the 14 matches played here. Although they are coming off back-to-back wins, we'll be back in the home side. I do like Manly 4 Pines Park, somewhat of a fortress for them as they always seem to kick it up a gear for the home fans. So yeah, give me Manly, give me 13 plus, and I'll take DCE. And to close out the round, we head over to McDonald Jones Stadium where the Knights host the Panthers. Looking at the ins and outs, a couple big returns for the Knights with Bradman Best back playing at centre and Daniel Saifiti named on the bench. That looks like the only changes. They do have David Armstrong in the reserves. but it's saying here that Fletcher Sharp will be remaining in the 1 jersey as he was ahead of him in the pecking order. For the Panthers, they do welcome back Dylan Edwards, so Laurie goes to number 14, and in the reserves I do see Liam Martin and Schneider, although Jack Cole is Ivan's preferred pairing with Jerome Luai. As for our pick, we're going to keep it short and sweet here. These two teams almost split down the middle for wins. It's Penrith with 20 out of 41 played. Their most recent matches have been gruelers, with the Panthers ultimately edging out the Knights, and that's how I think this game will go as well. So I'll be on the Panthers here. That's 1 to 12 points, and to score a try, we'll be jumping on the returning Dylan Edwards. And that's about it for our picks. As per, if you have any picks and predictions of your own, let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed the vid, be sure to find and shred that like button, and for more rugby league related content or more content in general, go ahead and drop your boy a cheeky sub. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.